Welcome to herbalhealthreview.com and Discoveries in Health Discussions featuring Dr. Truman Burst. Truman, welcome to the program. How you doing?
I am blessed. I know that you are too, Paul, and everybody in the room. I know you're all blessed. I see friendly faces there. Edward's here, Angela, Sister Charissa, and David. So many people, so many friendly faces, and some new people that I haven't seen before. Hi out there. Thank you for joining us. This is Discoveries in Health Discussions. My name is Bishop Dr. Truman Burst. I am the Bishop of Good Shepherd Ministries since 1999. And before that, we just helped people with natural remedies since 1961. That's over 60 years of helping people to learn all about natural remedies. We don't prescribe, we don't diagnose, we're not medical doctors, and we're not talking about drugs. We're uses of natural remedies. And if you need a doctor, well, go see a doctor. But we're here talking about natural remedies, and we're not diagnosing, we're not prescribing, we're not selling products. We'll tell you where you can get them, but we're not selling products. So that's what we're doing here. This is a class where we teach all about natural remedies, how to use them, and we teach from a website, herbalhealthreview.com. herbalhealthreview.com is the website with all of the information that I've researched and then published since 1960. Well, I haven't been publishing it since 61, but I've been doing it since 61. I think probably in the 80s is when we finally got hooked up on the internet. And that's been a long time ago as well. But we have this wonderful website that has all this information. It has all about the healthcare system that's different, that is bigger and better and more equipped to help people with natural remedies than any other natural healthcare system that is out there. So it's a wonderful system where you become educated regarding natural remedies. Then you can go on this website and you can fill out a member intake form and press the button, and I get all this information all about you. I can pray over that member intake form, answer all your questions, send you back a protocol of a step-by-step procedure of what to take, when to take it, how to take it, with all the links in the protocol. So you just click on the various products that are necessary, that are personalized and customized just to you. You click on them, and it takes you over to a website where you can buy them, but I get nothing from the sale of any product. That's right, because in America, the government does not want you to be able to do that. You're not supposed to be able to click on the information on a website all about herbs and natural remedies and be able to go to the manufacturer and get the product. Not only that, you get you get what you need, and the manufacturer is tracking the results, and then the manufacturer knows when to discontinue a product, when you need something else, when you might want to change the directions and dosage. The manufacturer is involved. That's not happening anywhere else in America because no one else has a system that will do that except this system. And when the government objected, well, we did the right thing. We went to court And a judge said, leave this system alone. That's why it's here. And that's the only reason it's here. Otherwise, it wouldn't be here, and no one else has a system like this. So here you have a complete system that is helping you, educating you with natural remedies, and that knows what you need next. There's not that never happened before. But here it is, and my telephone number is 503-362-5899. That's 503-362-5899. And my email address is very similar to the website. The website is herbalhealthreview.com. My email address is Truman, Truman, at herbalhealthreview.com. And when you're on that website, it's going to give you a common condition tab. And when you click on the common condition tab, it's going to bring up all of these reports regarding various health disorders. And it's not prescribing and diagnosing. It's simply stating the scientific research information. That's it. And nobody's selling products. We're just getting information out. But there are evil people who would do everything they possibly could to misconstrue what we're doing here and claim that we're giving medical information, which we are not. I just want to make that very clear. We don't do that.
Right.
And a federal judge agreed with us that we are not doing that. So just know that we don't prescribe, we don't diagnose. We're here talking about natural remedies. And yes, they do. Natural remedies are used to comfort people. In America, they cannot be used to heal anyone because allopathic medicine doesn't heal people. It treats them. It treats them and treats them and treats them until they're no longer treatable. And then they die. So
okay, let's open up the mics. Let's open up the mics and get our list of topics that we're going to be talking about today. If we have any questions, what we'll do is we'll jot that information down. We'll start the program with a prayer, and then we'll take those questions and those topics in order. So if we can get anybody that's got any questions, health-related questions, just unmute and tell us who you are and what we can do for you. David and Teresa.
Hi, how is everyone? It's good, very good to be back here. I have 4 questions, Dr. Burst, but I think I can combine 2 of them.
I see him clamoring for his pencil.
What can we do? Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You ready?
Yeah.
Is there anything that can anything in particular that would give a person energy, energize a person? I would imagine anything that oxygenates the blood would also give energy.
So you're looking at the question is you want something to oxygenate the blood, is that right?
Yeah, which and the result of that would be more energy. Am I correct?
Oh yes. That's why so many people should be getting oxygen when they go to the hospital, and they're not. And then if they use more oxygen, they'd have less problems.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So, is there anything that would give more energy, more oxygen aside from, I guess, hydrogen peroxide would be one of those things? Is there something else out there?
Yes. So we're going to talk about things that increase oxygen to the tissues of the cells. And yes, we will be talking about that. And you said you had some
2 more.
other questions?
2 more. One, I wanted to know about glaucoma.
Okay, well, we've got oxygenation and glaucoma. That's a good head start. Do we have any other topics that anyone wants to talk about?
I have one more question, a small question.
Okay, let's jot that one down.
when a person is not completely emptying their bladder, is there something they can do to help that along?
Yes. And okay, we got it. We
Okay.
got your questions.
That's it. That's
And-
it. Sorry. Thank you.
Okay, okay,
All right.
Sarissa. 512 area code. Do you have a topic or a question? (512) area code. Do you have a topic or a question? Okay, your mic is open and we're hearing some background noise, so I'm going to mute you. If you want to talk, just press *6, okay, and get our attention. Thank you so much. All right, so we've got a few topics, and we'll probably
Hi.
pick up some more.
Hello?
Hello? Who's
Okay,
this?
hello.
Yes. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you guys off, but I do have a topic, and it's the regarding cancer. My mom has pancreatic cancer. She had surgery and had her pancreas removed, but the cancer has spread to her liver, and she's stage 4.
Okay, please understand, we cannot prescribe or diagnose for your mom's cancer. We can talk about what science knows about cancers, but please do not phrase your questions about someone, about you or someone that has cancer or diabetes, because the laws are slanted such in America that if I was to answer your question, I'm supposed to go to jail. And so we just can't answer somebody's question because there is no freedom of speech regarding the medical system. That's the way it works.
Well, we can
So
talk
please,
talk about herbal treatments and herbal mixtures that are helpful, or that have been shown to be helpful or beneficial in cancer
Thank you.
and dealing with it. Okay, we can do that.
So,
All right, do we have any more questions? Okay, all right. So let's get started with an opening prayer and get this show kicked off. And I'm going to mute everybody on the board except Doc Truman. And there we go. We're all set. Okay, take her away, Doc Truman.
I'm going to ask you to help me out here for a minute, Paul, while I go over here to the dial pad meetings and hook up dial pad meetings. Okay.
Oh, we didn't start that yet. Okay. Well, I did check. YouTube is
did a lot
live.
of things, but we didn't do that.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
Your
okay.
YouTube channel is live. My 4 YouTube channels are live. Your Facebook and my Facebook are live. Plus, we're on Twitter, Twitch, and DLive, Rumble, and Odyssey. So, you bring. Oh, and we're also on Global Voice or radio.globalvoiceradio.net. So once you get dial pad going, we'll be ready to hit the ground running.
Okay. Control C. We'll just do it like this then.
There you go. I want to welcome everybody to the program, and I want to thank you for joining us. It is really about you, because we bring the topics and health questions to you, the audience, and to you, the participating group. So this would be nothing without you being here. And I don't want to discount the importance of Doc Truman or herbalhealthreview.com. I don't want to discount that at all. But this is a group effort. It's a cohesive thing. So I'm really looking forward to the show. and I knew I was going to be here.
And okay, there we go. Now we are also live on dial pad meetings at the same time.
Good deal.
And now we can get to that opening prayer.
Okay.
That we're not going to forget that opening prayer. We're not going to do that. So here we go. I want to get into Ephesians And I lost my tab there, didn't I? Okay, let's get over there. I want Ephesians 6. And I want to get to Ephesians 6:11. Because that's where, start with 10. Because that's where we put on the whole armor of God. That's Ephesians 6:10. And it says, finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. Put on the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities. For the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Wherefore, take unto you the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all, to stand. Stand therefore, having your loins girt about with truth, and having on the breastplate of righteousness, and your feet shod with a preparation of the gospel of peace. Above all, taking the shield of faith, wherewith ye shall be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked, and take the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God, praying always with all prayer and supplication in the Spirit, and watching whereunto with perseverance and supplication for all saints. And for me, that utterance may be given unto me, that I may open my mouth boldly to make known the mystery of the gospel, for which I am an ambassador in bonds, that therein I may speak boldly as I ought to speak. In Jesus Christ's name, all praises to the Most High God. In Jesus Christ's name, Yeshua, so be it. Thank you. Now, we have some serious questions here that need to be addressed. One, how to increase oxygen. Yes, hydrogen peroxide is one way. Coenzyme Q10 is another way. And I have a hand that came up here. Where is that person?
That was a fellow Jitster.
There it is.
What's your name, fellow Jitster? Unmute and talk to us.
That's Edward. Hello?
Yes, fellow Jitster, go ahead.
You can hear me?
I hear you, yes.
Oh, okay. The hydrogen peroxide will oxygenate you. It can be caustic and have a chemotherapeutic effect. It's not the best application for reoxygenating. However, in an emergency situation, I would definitely use it and have utilized it for pneumonia. I gave it to Ronald, a quarter teaspoon in a glass of water.
We're not talking about specific dosages or specific applications. We're talking about herbs.
Right, okay, so rather than use the hydrogen peroxide, I use the magnesium with ozone bonded to it, and that delivers all the oxygen to trillions of cells in your body. First to your digestive tract, your lungs. So it addresses all types of lung dysfunction, arterial dysfunction, and kidney dysfunction. When you deliver large amounts of oxygen to those organs, it has an unusually profitable effect, which means you gain the results easier that you want to gain.
Okay.
By cleansing your intestinal tract with super oxygenated magnesium with ozone bonded to it, it has amazing effects, and it makes all of your supplements and pharmaceuticals more bioavailable, so you always have to watch your pharmaceuticals so that you don't take too much when you don't need them. As required, you watch what you're doing and deal with your health practitioner. Always reduce medications that are not necessary. When your blood pressure drops, you don't take high blood pressure medication while you're having low blood pressure, because it lowers it too much. So as far as oxygenating, I also use ginseng in my life. I find it to be a very oxygenating herb.
Good. Okay, so the takeaway from that is that magnesium bonded with ozone, if you are taking it, it does make other things that you're doing more bioavailable, and it may make them more beneficial. Of course, we're not here to treat, diagnose, prevent, or cure any disease, and nothing here should be considered as medical advice. Viewers are directed to consult their own health professionals before acting on any information presented here. Here we talk about herbs, and we talk about natural ways to support your perfect health, your own best life. Isn't that right, Doc?
That is a fact. That is a fact.
Okay.
So
oxygenation. What can we do about that?
So magozone is excellent for increasing oxygen levels.
By the way, you could check the blood before and afterwards, and you could see the difference. Not that blood is the final tell-all, because you got trillions of cells in your body that need to be oxygenated. And just the blood being up high doesn't mean that you are well. There's a book on the subject that I was advised to read, and it really delineates the difference between blood oxygen levels and tissue oxygen levels. What you really want to do is get your tissue oxygen levels in trillions of cells higher and reduce the toxins in all those cells so the mitochondria can function properly.
So there are nutrients that are going to help to do this. One of them is a simple herb, cayenne pepper. Cayenne pepper dilates and opens up cells, but you don't want to use a lot of it, but you want to use a very small amount of it, which is one of the reasons why when I'm compounding herbal medicines, I'm putting a little tiny a bit of cayenne in there as well, because it opens everything up and it lets all the toxins out, lets all the nutrients in, lets some more oxygen into the cells. So these are cleansing, detoxifying, and using herbal amount of cayenne in them, you're going to find that that's going to help to oxygenate the blood cells. But let's get over to...
I want to say one thing about that. I use cayenne on a regular basis. You're absolutely right. However, I had a friend that died. I told him, don't use cayenne if you're using high blood pressure medication. Don't take cayenne capsules. I mean, not to use cayenne, but don't take a lot of it. He ended up in the hospital, and the next time I never spoke to him again to this day. A very good friend. And you don't take the capsules of straight cayenne when you're on high blood pressure medication. It can lower it too much. That's all I'm warning about.
There you go. Yeah, cayenne has a lot of uses in itself.
It's fantastic.
But, getting back to the topics here, the question was glaucoma, and also about how to keep bladder health, have a healthy bladder. So we've talked about glaucoma several times on this broadcast, even recently. We've talked about eye disorders. And we would go over to the website, herbalhealthreview.com. And when we're on herbalhealthreview.com, we're going to click on common conditions. And then we're going to go down to the eye report. And when we're A, B, C, D, E, there is the eye report. So all the research that I did on eyes. And by the way, I update these reports all the time. I'm always looking for newer scientific information that can help comfort people. That's what we're talking about here. So when we're talking about this eye report and glaucoma, then you want to get into that eye report and click on the What to Do button, and it gives you an eye care kit. And what's in that eye care kit is it comes with colloidal silver water, and I got an open mic there somewhere. But it has colloidal silver water. So you start with an eye cup, and you're putting you're filling that eye cup halfway full of colloidal silver water. Then you're using of MS, which is natural sulfur, and you just put a little tiny pinch of that in an eye cup, and then you add 1 drop of raw honey, and then you use an herbal formula, number 1168, called See Me, and you're going to put 1 to 3 drops of this See Me herbal mixture into the eye cup with the colloidal silver water and the tiny pinch of MSM and the 1 drop of raw honey. And you're going to then take and hold this eye cup. You're going to only make this 1 time in the morning. You're going to use it 3 times a day, but you only make it once in the morning, and you use the same one over and over again 3 times a day. So you take that eye cup now that you put all these ingredients in, you put it up to your eye, and you seal it to your eye. And you look up and down and back and forth for about 30 seconds. That's all, 30 seconds. Then you go do the other eye, seal it to the eye so it's not leaking all over the place. Do it over the sink, so in case you make a little drip or something, it's going to go in the sink. And you do that and you're looking up and down and back and forth for 30 seconds. That's it. You're done. What that does is it drains the eye. That's what the eye is trying to do and can't do a good enough job. It's not, because it's trying to cleanse. The eye is a channel of cleansing elimination, and it's trying to cleanse. You get up in the morning, you got to wipe your eyes out. You get some dust in them, it's trying to water up and get rid of the dust. Your eyes are constantly trying to cleanse. Well, now that you've done this eye solution to the eyes, it's going to drain. It's going to drain everything for about 7 days. And people call me up and say, what is going on? My eyes are draining. I say, that's good. They say, what? How could it be good? My eyes are draining. I say, well, that's what they need to do. They need to get all the junk out. And it will quit in 7 days. And it always does. About 7 days later, that's it. It's through draining. Your eyes are healthier, better, and you're continuing to do this eye solution. And when you're doing that, and the longer you do it, the healthier the eye is going to become, because it's feeding, it's draining, it's feeding, and it's healing every tissue in the eye, behind the eye, the retina, the sclera, the muscle behind the eye. The entire eye is just getting healthier and healthier. And if you continue to do this eye rinse combination for up to 1 year, if you wore glasses, you probably won't wear them anymore because you're not going to need to, because the eye becomes so healthy that you don't need glasses anymore. That's how wonderful this particular eye system is. So there's a kit listed here in this eye report.
How much of the cayenne do you put in that eye cup? How do you measure it?
I don't put any. It's all pre-mixed in the ice in the See Herbal formula number 1168.
The only thing that's not in there is the honey
and the MSM.
How much MSM?
A tiny pinch, just a little sprinkle of MSM powder in there, which is going to open up and dilate the eye tissue even more and let things out. There is like a teeny tiny amount. It's one of the last ingredients in the number 1168 See Me Herbal Tincture Extract, which you also put a squirt in your mouth because it's good internally as well as externally on the eyes. Now you're going to do that 3 times a day. So there's an eye kit, and all those things are in that eye kit, even the eye cup. And it's eye kit number 4434. But also in that eye kit is some lutein with zeaxanthin, which is nourishing the eyes. It's the food, the most nutrient-dense food that the eye is requiring is lutein with the zeaxanthin. It's this little teeny tiny pill. And you take that and you do the eye rinse and you put that squirt of the See Me number 1168 underneath your tongue. That's it. You do that 3 times a day, and you watch your eyes get better and better. Glaucoma clears up. Cataracts fall off in about 90 days, usually. But that is an eye system. And there's a lot of other things you can do for the eyes. You can make sure you're taking a good multiple vitamin. You can make sure that you're feeding the body a good, nourishing diet. The Make Lifestyle Changes diet system is the perfect diet system for people who want to improve their health. It's a step-by-step system with a power drink and whole food plant-based meal plans and recipes, acid alkaline food chart. It is a complete dietary system with all kinds of things that are just great for you. But other nutrients that are specifically good for conditions like glaucoma is garlic and turmeric. Turmeric, also called curcuma, is anti-inflammatory. There's a lot of inflammatory conditions affecting the eyes. So turmeric and vitamin E, which you get mostly from nuts and seeds, and people are not eating nuts and seeds very much. And that's what's in your power drink is nuts and seeds and powders of all kinds of different special powders that make you super healthy. That's in the Make Lifestyle Changes diet system. But there's just things that we can do, like making sure that you're getting all of the omega vitamins. And there is for instance, there's sea buckthorn seed oil, which has all of the omega, complete and organic natural oils, which will help with inflammation and help to maintain the fluidity of the cell membranes and protect the retina from oxidative damage, and higher intakes of fish oil. And fish will help reduce the risk of macular degeneration and eye disorders. So these are the kinds of things that you're going to see there in this eye report. And I think that pretty much does that. We're going to talk about cancer here in a minute because that came up. We're not going to prescribe or diagnose, but we're going to simply talk about nutrients and a system where people are reporting back that it's helping them. And that's what we're trying to do here. We're trying to help people. We've got a lot of people now that tell us they're stage 4 cancer. The doctors can't find it anymore. And that's a good thing. So we're going to talk about that as well. But let's go back to common conditions. Let's go back to common conditions. And by the way, if there's anybody over there on the Dialpad meetings room, if you have a question or a topic or a suggestion, go ahead and let me know what that might be. I see your microphones are open over there on Dialpad meetings. Okay, and no one is asking for particular information, so that's all right. And let's make sure that this is okay. That's what I got. Okay, I want to make sure that everything is working, and it is. Everything is working on Dialpad meetings. So that's good. That's a good sign. Then we're coming back over here, and we're looking at we're looking at kidney bladder. So we're clicking on common conditions. Clicking on common conditions and going down to kidney bladder. Because what can we do to make sure that that bladder is working? Well, here's what we can do. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K. There it is, kidney bladder. So I'm clicking on the kidney bladder report, and I'm opening that up, and it's describing, how vital kidneys and the kidney bladder system is to the body, which means that that the kidney failure results in transplants or dialysis to manually remove body wastes, because the kidneys serve an important function in the body. They filter fluids and wastes from the blood to form urine and regulate some of the body's substances. The effects are serious when kidney disease develops. So when we're talking about kidney bladder, there is a group of nutrients that you want to make sure that you have in your body: calcium and magnesium, amino acids, enzymes, potassium, super green foods, and a great multiple vitamin. Want to pick up a really good multiple vitamin from your health food store.
This is everything I do. This is exactly what I do. Everything you're saying.
There you go. And if there's anemia, a lot of times when we have a kidney disorder, we have anemia. And so there is an anemia herbal formula called Plasmania, number 1015. Herbal, and you can click on these. Here's the thing. See, if you're looking at a report and you're over here, you're looking at the Herbal Health Review, and you're clicking on common conditions, and you're looking at the kidney bladder report. And I'm going to do this over here for the folks in the Dialpad meetings room, so they're able to see this as well. And multitasking, and there's kidney bladder for them, and opening it up for them as well. Getting over to the report, getting down into that report, and it tells you one of the greatest things that you can do for the kidney and the bladder is to find out about marshmallow root tea. The marshmallow root tea. It's a species of herb, Althea officinalis. It comes from Africa, which is, and it's used as a medicinal plant and an ornamental plant in Africa, and it nourishes the urinary tract, It coats over the stones. If there's any bladder stones, it coats over the stones so that they don't poke the bladder and cause the bladder to bleed. Then you have so it's nourishing, feeding, and coating over the stones so that they'll pass without any pain or bleeding. So if there's a bladder problem, you start with 1 quart of water every morning. You bring that 1 quart of water to a boil, pull it off the burner, put a tablespoon of marshmallow root tea into that water, stir it up, put the lid on it, let it cool down, and sip it throughout the day. Now, during the day, you want to make sure you're consuming, when you've got any kind of a bladder problem or any kind of a health issue, if there's any, especially serious health issues, you want to get at least a gallon of water going through your body daily to wash all the wastes out and keep everything moving. Otherwise, you go to the rule that's listed in the Make Lifestyle Changes diet system, and the first thing that it says is drink half your body weight in quality liquids. Quality liquids. We're not counting alcohol. We're not counting a soda pop. That's not a quality liquid. We're counting water,
or tea.
A little bit of juice, not a lot of juice. We're not going to sugar up, but we're talking about a little bit. We're talking about a lot of water, some juice, quality liquids. Like get bone broth into your diet. It's loaded with amino acids, and it's a very healthy thing to help people to recover when they're having health challenges. But this marshmallow root tea, you're drinking it throughout the day. And the reason I say that you stop drinking it at night is because it's a diuretic. Marshmallow root is going to flush out the bladder. It's going to flush out the kidneys. And you don't want to be flushing things out when you're trying to sleep. So 2 hours before bed, you stop drinking that tea. You must consume it and all of your liquids 2 hours before bed. Now, if you haven't had any liquids and you are dehydrated, then you throw the rule book away and you drink water whenever you can and wherever you can, if that's the case. But you're trying to not drink water 2 hours before bed so that you can get a good night's sleep without running to the bathroom all night. So that's how you use that marshmallow root tea. Now, to really work on that kidney bladder, there is a kidney bladder herbal tincture mixture that is specific for the kidney bladder. And those herbs are in kidney bladder herbal formula number 1246. And number 1246, and you can click on these. See, here's the thing. I'm going to click on this, and let's open up this link in a different tab. Okay, now I'm opening it up in a different tab. I just got to see where that tab is opening. You find it. There it is right there. So that's the thing. All of these reports, when you click on the product, you're looking at it. Now, I don't get anything from the sale of any product, but you know where you can get it. That's the idea. So here it is, number 1246, and it's got all those herbs in there: peach bark, marshmallow root, buchu leaf, corn silk, echinacea root, goldenrod leaf, parsley root, red clover blossoms, dandelion root, watermelon seed, uber ursi leaf. It's all in one herbal formula. And you just take about a half a dropper full and squirt it right under your tongue, and it goes into your cheeks, under your tongue, directly into the bloodstream. So that's how you work with a kidney bladder issue. Then you go down in the kidney bladder report and you look at the other herbs that are available. If you have pain and you have spasms, Kava kava root will take away the pain and it'll take away the spasms. So you employ you put up half a dropper full of kava kava root and you give yourself a squirt of that. And you do that about 3 times a day. About 3 times a day. And then there's other herbs that are available if you need them, like Schizandra berry, that if you have any kind of digestive organ problems, if you have a digestive problem, Schizandra berry will strengthen the digestive organs and the immune system. So that's what Schizandra berry will do. And if you need to strengthen your immune system, and if you need to strengthen your digestive organs, you would use a half a dropper full, about 30 drops of Schizandra berry. And if you had inflammation, if that bladder was inflamed, then you would make sure and add some nettle leaf. And if you got, and you might get some quercetin, because they work very good together. Nettle and quercetin are very anti-inflammatory. So now you can reduce inflammation with nettle, and there are other herbs. If you needed more diuretics, let's say that there was water retention, and you needed to get rid of that water retention. One of the greatest diuretics is watermelon seed. So you get some watermelon seed, and you get about a half dropper full of that, and give yourself a squirt. And that will get rid of. That will act as a strong diuretic. And if you still have a lot of inflammation going on, then you would reach for goldenrod, and because and add more goldenrod to get rid of more inflammation. So these are the kinds of things. And there's a gallstone. If there's stones, then there is a Stones Clear herbal formulation that dissolves the stones, breaks them up. So these are the kinds of things that you can do for the kidney, a bladder. And it even gives a special concoction of lemon juice and olive oil that will help to lubricate and soothe the urethral passages, and it'll cause the stones to just spit right out, and you get rid of stones. You can fill like a pint jar of stones. You can get a whole pint jar sometimes of stones out of those kidney bladders. So that's a little bit about glaucoma. That's about a bladder. And does anybody else have?
I'd like to say something about
yes,
Dr. Truman
yes,
about how the statins, the high blood pressure medications, add so much toxin to the body that literally it inflames the kidneys, because the kidneys cannot process it, which makes the liver have to work harder. And when the kidneys are inflamed, then your blood pressure goes up, right? If your kidneys are inflamed, it raises your blood pressure. So it's causing a vicious cycle. If you watch it, you might want to learn. And by the way, when you say the water, the magnesium ozone is what I use to take a person that's on dialysis and get their kidneys working again enough to get off dialysis. I actually use it. Now I have all your formulas, which is definitely what I've been wanting to learn, to add to it. It's absolutely a clincher.
But we can't make any specific health claims.
No, I'm not making any claims. I just know what happens when people that I have already recommended something to, and they had actually Dr. Freebot taught it to me. He taught me at the International Institute of Oxygen Therapies.
Okay. Maybe someday soon that we can get those people on so they can share their own testimonials. We are on 7 different highly censored platforms. So
right, I won't
if we
go
don't watch
into
what we say, we
Sure.
won't be able to say anything for at least a month. Okay, you get what I'm saying?
Sure.
Okay,
We have to
5
be
of those
very cautious.
platforms are mine.
Okay, so the magnesium with oxygen bonded to it is what the cells are all deficient in. When you have dis-ease in the body, lack of ease, stress, or tension on the body that's caused by positive ionic matter, what's happening is you need to lower the toxic levels of your body. And magnesium is always deficient, along with vitamin C in somebody that is extremely ill. If you check in a cancer patient regarding the person that called in originally and asked, you'll check and see. They usually don't check for scurvy, but most people that have cancer are either scurvy or practically scurvy, and they're highly deficient in magnesium. When the body's deficient in magnesium, that means it acts like a suction. When you put the right magnesium in the body, it'll suck it up into the body because it's deficient. It wants it. And when ozone's bonded to it, well, now you're reoxygenating the body. And things like cancer, according to Dr. Otto Warburg, two-time Nobel Prize winner, who was nominated for a third in science, no less in medicine, he won the Nobel Prize by proving that no disease can function in a highly oxygenated and highly alkalized environment. It just can't.
Okay.
And that's
all right.
why
Let's move on. We've talked about magnesium ozone for better than half of the program so far. I think people got the message. All right.
Let's visit with cancer. And let's talk about what natural remedies can comfort people. We're not talking about healing people. We're not talking about medical. We're talking about what are the natural remedies to comfort people. Let's take a look at a report where I took many, many years and a lot of research and consolidated into a report. And I called that report Breast and All Cancers, and people are being comforted that have any type of cancer when they're learning about this report that's on the website, herbalhealthreview.com, that does not sell any products. It only has information to educate people, and that's what we're looking at. So now I'm looking at the Breast and All Cancer report, and what it's saying here about cancer is it's describing what cancer is. It's a class of diseases characterized by out-of-control cell growth. And there are over 100 different types of cancer, and each is classified by the type of cell that is initially affected. Cancer harms the body when damaged cells divide uncontrollably to form lumps or masses of tissue called tumors, except in the case of leukemia, where cancer prohibits normal blood function by abnormal cell division in the bloodstream. Tumors can grow and interfere with the digestive, the nervous, and the circulatory systems. They can release hormones that alter body function. Tumors that stay in one spot and demonstrate limited growth are generally considered to be benign. More dangerous or malignant tumors form when two things occur. One, a cancerous cell manages to move throughout the body using the blood or lymph systems, destroying healthy tissues in a process called invasion. The second thing is that a cell manages to divide and grow, making new blood vessels to feed itself in the process. And that's called angiogenesis. Cancer is ultimately the result of cells that are uncontrollably grow and do not die. Normal cells in the body follow an orderly path of growth, division, and death. The programmed cell death is called apoptosis. And when this process breaks down, cancer begins to form. Unlike regular cells, cancer cells do not experience programmatic death. And instead, they continue to grow and divide. This leads to a mass of abnormal cells that grows out of control. Now, there are, they've known since 1925. It's been known that starving the body of carbohydrates, sugars, starve the body of sugars, carbohydrates. It kills cancer cells anywhere in the body. The key is to not totally stop using carbohydrates. You're going to use a little bit of natural fruit, but not a lot. A very modest amount of fruit, but to use only a very modest and it's got to be organic fruit and no other sugars. And if you're not eating organic, you're probably eating GMO, genetically modified organisms, which does make people very sick. And which means if you've got any kind of an illness, you don't want to exacerbate it with food that isn't real. You don't want to give yourself fake food when you're trying to comfort yourself from coming down with something. You need to feed yourself, nourish yourself. You need to constantly be making sure you're getting plenty of water, rehydration. So we need to be stewards of our own body. So many people put their self last. Everybody's ahead of them. Their mom, dad, brothers, sisters, everybody's ahead of them. And they don't drink enough water. And they don't get enough magnesium. And they don't get things like vitamin D3. That's why people are 80, 90% deficient in these kinds of things. And then they come down with illness and they don't know why. Because finally, the body just finally couldn't take not being actually nourished. So then when you get into a make lifestyle changes diet system and you are totally nourishing the body, and then you're cleansing and detoxifying, then the body has a chance to bounce back and recover, because that's what the body is good at. The body's good at making a comeback if you help it. But if you continue to eat fast food, order out all the time, not make your own food, not get that real fruit, real salads, organic, you really nourish your body. If you're serious about becoming healthier, you have to eat healthier. What you put in is what you get out. So genetically modified organisms, which make people very sick. In the pre-civilization era, people used meat as their main source of nutrition, but they also used green leaves, seeds, fruits, wild plants in their diet. Their dietary style is now called a hunter-gatherer's diet, or the Paleolithic diet, when you're eating naturally as your ancestors ate. That's a Paleolithic diet or a hunter-gatherer's diet. That's what the Make Lifestyle Changes diet system is.
Is that kind of a biblical diet?
Or a suggestion? Go ahead.
Is that kind of a biblical diet?
It really is, and that's where you're going to get into things like Daniel. Daniel ate differently, and it made the king mad, because he wouldn't eat the meat They were vegetarians, but they were healthy, and pretty soon the king and all the king's people there, they saw that they were eating the meat and they were getting sick, and Daniel wasn't, because he was eating a good diet, and it didn't include meat, because you don't have to have meat. A matter of fact, meat is you have to have a very strong body to eat meat. And most people are in a condition where their body is no longer that strong, and you can't eat meat. And then it's got all these chemicals and things and everything that they're added, they're injecting into the animals and so forth. So it's just a no-win. It's a no-win scenario.
Right.
But
well, one question I had is, like, with the typical diet, and I don't know if this is off topic or not, but the heavy metal toxicity is really big, because there are a lot of toxic metals in our environment. And I would think that, because I have horrible trouble sleeping when my Wi-Fi router is on in the bedroom. Okay, so when I really, really need to get a good night's sleep, I will unplug that router. And I have got to think that it's the toxic heavy metals that are in my body that are reacting against that Wi-Fi signal. Now, with 5G, well, we can't even say that. The 5G and just all of the proliferation of radio waves surrounding us. Any material that is unnatural that's in our body has got to react against that, and it's got to present in symptoms. Symptoms: irritation, itch, fatigue, lethargy, loss of sleep, headaches, just a general overall sense of unwell being. What connection do heavy metals have to cancers, and how can a person address those heavy metals?
And that is a very good question, because there's so many heavy metals, and for instance, lead. There's no safe amount of lead. Any amount of lead will cause death. So, and then we got so many different metals, and so much exposure. Yes. So that's why I put together a formulation, and it's called heavy metal. It's called heavy, and it has the herbs in it. Let's take a look at that type of formulation. Go up here into.
Well, if we could, let's scan through the rest of the cancer and hit the high points, just to make sure that we cover that, because we were already looking at a report. If we can go back to that one.
Okay.
Dr. Otto Warburg, I just want to say, the other Nobel Prize that he won was the prime cause and prevention of cancer, 60% or more deprivation of oxygen to the cell, which starts the fermentation process. The cancer basically lives on sugar. It's different. It's living on fermentation. So when person has cancer, it is not good to eat sugar. It is the worst thing for a doctor to have sugar in his waiting room when he's giving chemotherapy and radiation and telling people to get sugar. I think it's kind of
counterproductive,
disingenuous.
Yeah. Okay. I noticed that hydrogen peroxide was mentioned in that report as well. And cleansing toxins, that's really what we're talking about.
Yes, and as you go down into this cancer report, Paul, I've now brought it up on the screen here. You'll see that there is a heavy metal group of herbs that bind up with heavy metals. And those herbs that bind up with heavy metals and take them out of their body are garlic, chlorella, coriander root, cilantro leaf. Those are some of the main nutrients that suck up all the heavy metals and take them out of your body. Now, when you're doing a heavy metal detox kind of thing, you want to make sure that you're using a special fiber as well. And so there's a special, and the heavy metal detox is number 1228. And we don't get anything from the sale of any product. So, we're not selling a product, but that is the product that you can find out there. It's number 1228, heavy metal detox. And a companion thing you would want is a fiber that has psyllium seed husks in it. The psyllium seed husks are going to dissolve and become a gel whenever you put it into water. So you take this fiber powder and you put into juice, water, or tea, and you stir it up, and it becomes a gel. So you drink it before it becomes a gel. But it not only has the special psyllium seed husk fiber that binds up with heavy metals and all kinds of other things as well. Anything that's in the digestive tract, in the colon, in the bowel, it's going to absorb it, and it's going to take it all into the gel, into that psyllium seed husk fiber. But along with that is two other components in that particular number 40 special fiber. What is that in there is the bentonite clay, which is carrying a negative charge, and the metals are carrying a positive charge. So the bentonite clay is pulling the heavy metals and everything else that is in there that doesn't belong in the digestive tract or the colon. It's cleaning it all up, and it's all going into that bentonite clay. It's going into the psyllium seed husk powder, and also in there are all the super green foods: chlorella, spirulina, barley grass, wheatgrass. The chlorella alone is also a heavy metal detox. So it's all in this special fiber powder. Now here's the trick. The trick is, don't take that special fiber at the same time you're taking any of your supplements or any medications, because it's all going to be pulled into it. It's like a magnet. It's going to pull all this right into it. So you take fiber powder and you get your juice and water or tea, you put a teaspoon or a tablespoon in there, you stir it up and you drink it down, and you do that 2 hours before dinner on an empty stomach. 2 hours before dinner, you got an empty stomach, and you're doing this, and it's just taking and cleaning everything up. And at the same time, you're taking a squirt, about a half a dropper full of the heavy metal detox, and you're taking you're drinking the Truman special fiber with bentonite clay. You're taking that and you're drinking that all down, and then you have to chase it with another glass of water. The reason why is because that gel is going to pull all of the moisture, even the moisture in your digestive tract is going to go into that gel, and it's going to slide on through, clean everything up. Everything's going into the gel, and out it slides. Takes it all with it. You never even get a headache. In the old days, before we knew about how to do that, people would say, oh, man, I did a cleansing detox and I got this headache. It was horrible, but I really feel better afterwards, but I was miserable for days with a bad headache. That don't happen because it's all going into the gel. It's not leaking out into the system. And Brother Edward here has talked about bentonite clay constantly because it's a heavy metal detox itself. It
gets rid of the fluoride that's in all of our water, unfortunately. And I've seen gallons of baby water with a little baby on it in the supermarkets like Walmart. And it says, with added fluoride. And it's the wrong kind of fluoride. It's bad for your teeth. It blocks your pineal gland, which is your spiritual energy in between your eyes. And you want fluoride out of your body.
It's completely
Oh, well,
ridiculous. They're adding fluoride to distilled water for use in nurseries before the children even have teeth.
I know, and it rots your teeth. This stuff, and people, fluoridosis is. I've seen people up close, and I asked them, "Did you use fluoride toothpaste and drink the water from over here in Mustang?" And they said yes. I said, "That's fluoridosis you have. Their teeth were all rotted, all of them. 19, I think she was 19 years old, the girl. And the fluoride has to come out. You don't want that. It lowers your consciousness. And so do the heavy metals. This is the most important thing. Heavy metals is the root cause of all dis-ease in the body caused by stress. It's stress, dis-ease, stress or tension on the body caused by positive ionic matter, which include heavy metals and all particulates that have a positive ionic charge. Clay is 100% negative ionic, and it acts as a magnet, and it has a specially elongated surface to draw everything to it, and inside of it, and it actually absorbs and adsorbs. That's AB like in boy and AD like in David, 33 times its own molecular weight in positive ionic matter. So once you get through cleaning out your gut and maintaining it, that's a good start to stop dysfunctional health. And the clay also, and Dr. Truman's formula helps all people that have gut problems. That is the root cause of autism and Asperger's. You talk to all the latest doctors that know about this and have invested, wealthy men in San Diego, a man invested fortunes in getting to the bottom of it. It's all in straightening out your digestive tract, eliminating a lot of the causation that causes the disease in the first place, rot and putrefaction that builds up in your body, and parasites that are protected by biofilm, and the crystallized plaque and worms and bacterium stones that come out of your liver that protect themselves with biofilm. So we added 3 new enzymes to the magozone to break down the biofilm. Anyway, go ahead, Dr. Truman.
Thank you. But yes, so and you can get bentonite clay separately. You can get it in that particular formulation, and while you're there, you might even talking to these people about the special fiber with the bentonite clay and the heavy metal detox. Just know that they have the magozone as well. Just ask them for it. They have it. But we don't sell it. We don't sell anything here. And by the way, ginseng is listed here in this report. And the reason why, when there is cancers, that ginseng is so valuable is that the ginsengs, and what I did was I put together all of the ginsengs: American ginseng, Korean ginseng, Siberian ginseng, which is pseudo ginseng. All the ginsengs I put together in one bottle, and these ginsengs are considered to be some of the best tonics. They protect against radiation damage. They protect against stress, fatigue, and high blood sugar. And these ginsengs increase endurance. And they balance hormones. Ginsengs are adaptogens, alterative, and a stimulant. And they're considered to be the king of all tonics, as it provides stimulation to the entire body for stress, fatigue, weakness, and deficiencies. It stimulates, and the ginsengs stimulate and improve the brain cells, and is especially stimulating for mental fatigue. Ginseng works with the heart and with blood circulation, and then thus it's helpful for normalizing blood pressure and sugar levels, and beneficial in treating diabetes. Other uses of ginsengs include as an antidote to toxic drugs and chemicals, and for protection against radiation, improvement of vision and hearing, and to help improve one's working ability, as well as balancing to irritability, and for women with lowered resistance and deficiencies and hormonal imbalances. So ginsengs are tremendously valuable. And now here's the thing. Now, if you're all fatigued out because you're toxic and you just decide, well, I'm going to take the ginseng, you got to get rid of the toxins. You got to clean house before you cook. You can't come into a dirty kitchen and cook a meal. And you can't come into a body and start putting all the nutrients in. You got to clean house first. That's why
that's great. That's
yes.
complete wisdom right there. And like, if you're fatigued, if you're dragging, if you're you're just feeling blah, like toxic, whatever, and you don't have the ginseng preparation in the house, a cup of ginseng tea couldn't hurt, right, Doc?
It's fabulous. It's fabulous for you. And sometimes when I've got to do this 2-hour broadcast, and I know it's going to be demanding, and I'm reaching up there in my cabinet there, and I got my bottle of 6 ginsengs, and right there, man. It's just great stuff.
Just a little squirt, and that's all it is.
Oh yeah,
Dr. Truman.
Yeah.
Back in 1981, I went broke and I was in Hollywood. Somebody invited me to the Holiday Inn. I guess I walked over there because I kind of didn't have any other way of going. And there was a guy in a white suit standing there. I got 10 of those packages. There was a man by the name of Dr. Hills from Light Force, who's no longer with us for decades now. Mm-hmm. You might have heard of him.
Long ago.
He started doing the spirulina, and he did spirulina, bee pollen, ginseng, and papaya enzyme in these power packs. So I ate 2 of them when I got there. They said eat them. And this guy was talking about he did 6 a day. Well, I ended up running home from the Holiday Inn. I couldn't even run the year before to catch a plane in the Burbank airport. I said, what the hell is this stuff? I sat down to meditate that night. And it was like, oh my God! I was like, my mind just quieted, and the love was just so. Everything was so. I was zoned right in. In the morning, it was the same, and I said, "What is it?" I've been using that all these years. From then on, it's not their product because later on, he sold the company. He passed away, but I've been going forward with that. I used to spend $200 a month just on the power packs. And my warehouseman that loaded big trucks, he would take 2 of them off my desk every time he loaded one of my 2 trucks at a time he would load. And he was unbelievable. And I never minded. He could take all he wanted. It made you work much more, exercise much more. I would love to make that exact type of formula to make it easy for people. Again, we should work on something like that for somebody and get it done.
Well, you are.
No one has anything like that.
You are, after all, talking to the master formulator, the master.
I know. That's why I'm saying that I'm dropping a hint.
Whenever you want me to put that together for you, I'm glad to do that. No problem.
Ginseng is absolutely one of my staples in my life.
Yes. In the meanwhile, for the people that are taking notes, can you go through those ingredients again quickly?
What I said?
Ginseng, spirulina,
bee pollen, and instead of the papaya enzyme, now I just use the magozone. It's the most powerful enzymatic action there is, and enzymatic action is one of the keys to health. Oxygenation is one of the keys to health.
Thank you. Okay. All right, so, Doc, cleansing toxins, is that where we're going next?
That's where we're going, because we talked about the fiber, we talked about the heavy metal detox, and for people who have glandular problem, there's a glandular formula that I put about 56 different herbs in to balance all of the glandular system all at the same time. So, so those are valuable to know about. But the key product that I've used to do the cleansing, to clean up the digestive tract, to clean up the bloodstream, to clean up the liver, and to trigger the bowel, to get rid of all the toxins. It's called number 1078 CAC. And you just take as much as you need of the CAC liquid, whether it's a teaspoon in the morning, stir it up or right off the spoon, follow with some water, juice, tea. But you take enough of that CAC liquid, whether it's 1 teaspoon, 2 teaspoons, whatever amount it takes, to keep every bowel movement so soft it breaks up in a cloud when you flush the toilet. Now, that's the key, because when you're keeping that bowel movement soft, and then you're using that special fiber with the bentonite clay and the psyllium husks and all the super green foods, when you're using that and it's absorbing all these things, now you have a complete system of being able to clean up and get rid of everything and get it through the digestive tract, get it through the liver, get it through the colon, and get it out of the body. That is the complete system. So that's it. Number 1078, CAC cleansing liquid, the Truman Special Fiber with bentonite clay, a gland rejuvenator if you need it, a heavy metal detox. Those are that's how you clean house. Then, but you got to make sure that you're on the Make Lifestyle Changes diet system, because if you're not putting in the good nutrition and you're just cleaning everything out, then you're putting back GMO, you're putting back fast food, which is GMO, has nothing in it, and over a period of time, you wish you hadn't done it. Ordered all that fast food that was so convenient, that made you so sick that you wish you'd never done it. So that's but cancer. See, we're talking about comforting people. And when you're doing a cleanse and a detox and cleaning things up and getting things set, then you're taking the ginseng. Now you're getting the full meal deal from it, and you're making sure you're getting probiotics, making sure you're getting the super green foods for the super nutrition. Because when you get densely nutrient, that's what's kept me young at 82 years old. It's keeping me young because I'm heavy into the chlorella, spirulina, barley grass, olive leaf extract, alfalfa, seaweed. That's the super green food mix.
Olive oil, vinegar.
Yes, apple cider vinegar.
On my salad, I put tons of olive oil every time. I just made a salad earlier, and lots of vinegar, because it makes it taste so good, and all my seasoning sticks to the oil all through it. And the cucumbers are diuretic, and lots of onion and avocados,
garlic, ginger. Yeah, garlic and ginger, all of these things. And
garlic's a must.
Oh, yeah. So this is the way we got to eat. And it was mentioned earlier that, for oxygenation, hydrogen peroxide does work, and it is valuable. And there are lots of ways, ozone therapy, etc. There's lots of ways to get oxygen into the body. Coenzyme Q10, these are, but cleaning up your body so that it can get the oxygen that you're sending in there is so important. What I'm saying is, if you're not gonna do a cleanse and a detox, you may be cooking food in a dirty kitchen, and you don't want to do that. So let's make sure that you cleanse, detox, and then you're highly putting in nutrition, and the greatest group of herbs put together that helps to comfort people who are going through any type of cancer. Those herbs are listed in a formula called 1084. And so I'm going to open that link, and we're going to look at what is in the 1084 group of herbs that is the main formulation to comfort people when they have cancers. It's a group of cat's claw. The Spanish name is una de gato. Cat's claw root comforts people when there's cancers. And so does violet leaves, periwinkle leaf, Baharingaraja root from India for the liver, and mistletoe leaf and sage leaf, yarrow flower, burdock root, echinacea root, golden seal root, yellow dock root that's loaded with natural iron, which you always must have in a formulation that is comforting people with cancer. So yellow dock, rose hips, black cohosh root, garlic bulb, nettle leaf, lemongrass, white oak bark, fenugreek seed, juniper berries, Oregon grapefruit, plantain leaf, thyme leaf, sheep sorrel leaf, turkey rhubarb root, slippery elm bark, and graviola leaf, also called soursop, and moringa leaf, which is loaded with nutrition. Those are super nutrition, and that is a formulation that is the number one formulation to comfort people when they're battling cancers. So that's giving us the kind of information that we need to know about. We need to know about mushrooms. If it's tumors, eating mushrooms every week appears to lower the risk of prostate cancer, according to Newsweek. Newsweek, September 5, says eating mushrooms appears to lower the risk of prostate cancer in a 2019.
But there's so many different kinds of mushrooms. One time, I love mushrooms, and I've been told that I should cook them, not eat them raw. But I got some from Chinatown, downtown LA, and I ate them. You know how a snake sheds its skin? I shed my skin. It was one of the most painful things I went through. Thank God I had the clay to help me. But for 2 nights, I couldn't sleep. I was in pain in every part of my body. Every bit of my skin shed on my body from eating some mushrooms. And I never knew why, but I got scared of eating any mushrooms. I didn't know what they were. I always buy them in the supermarket. But
there you go. That's why we have certain medicinal mushrooms that we've done the research on. And when we combine them together, we started out with a 3-mushroom herbal tincture extract. And it has to be made in a very special way to break down the mushrooms. You can't make it in alcohol. You have to make it in apple cider vinegar. And then you have to know, like Edward says, you have to know which mushrooms to use. And when you do, then you'll be looking at a study published in the International Journal of Cancer. And it has correlated eating mushrooms with a significantly decreased risk of developing prostate cancer in middle-aged Japanese men. But the mechanism by which this occurs remains nebulous. They don't know. They're still doing the research to figure out why that's working. But we've got these studies, in Newsweek and in International Journal of Cancer that are telling us that these foods are valuable and they're helping people. So we're not talking about using them medicinally. We're talking about using them because they nourish you, because they make you feel better, and according to these studies, it could improve your health. And there's a tea that came in from South America. I brought in about 50 years ago called pau de orco bark. Now, in South America, Paraguay, Argentina, all throughout South America, they use pau de orco bark for cancer. Well, I don't use it for cancer because that's against the law here in this fine country that we have here. It's against the rules, so I don't do that. But I do use this, and when I brought it in, people wouldn't drink it because it's a bitter bark, the inner bark of a tree, and the tabuya tree, and but it's a blood cleaner. It cleans the blood. So I don't use it for cancer because you can't do that in America, but they can do that in Argentina, Paraguay, and all throughout South America. They use this pau de arco bark. So when I brought it in, immediately within a month, it was banned. You couldn't get it anymore. Then after about a year, they decided to unban it, and because nobody was drinking it anyway because it was so bitter. So then what I did was I took the pau de arco bark and I added some stevia leaf, which is a natural sweetener without sugar. That's high in chromium, which is very good for you. It's good, it's good for diabetics.
The pancreas. It stimulates the pancreas.
Right, stevia. So we sweeten it with a little natural stevia. There's not a sugar, and we put natural cinnamon, raspberry, orange, and ginger. And wow, did that really taste good! And especially that cinnamon. Ooh, that made that taste so wonderful. Now people love my pau de arco bark because I call it daily health tea spice. And they say, give me another cup of that. It tastes like cinnamon. And but it's pau de arco tea, which is good for your blood. And I'm not selling it as an matter of fact, I don't sell anything anymore. I used to sell it, but don't sell anything anymore.
Is there a number on that?
Pau de arco, the daily health tea spice is number 4160.
4160.
That's right, and it's delicious. So these are the things we need to know about. We need to know about how to cleanse, how to detox, use mushrooms, use the 1084. If this is comforting people, wonderful. That's what we want to do, is comfort people. If they report back that they don't have cancer anymore, that's not my fault. But we're here talking about comforting people, and then that whole food, plant-based diet, meal plans and recipes, and that complete system that gives you a power drink with the nuts and the seeds, and it tastes wonderful. It'll taste like chocolate, vanilla, cinnamon, anything you want it, whatever you want it to taste like. It's your power drink. But that's the whole food, plant-based meal plans and recipes that are in the Make Lifestyle Changes diet system. So these are the things that we need to know about. And just like Edward said, get that vitamin C level up. Vitamin C is that's the reason that the father of vitamin C, Linus Pauling, out there in Oregon, when he was alive and lived to be over 100, he took 14,000 milligrams of vitamin C daily because it kept him healthy. He lived to be over 100, and this diet system, the Make Lifestyle Changes diet system, it's got all these super nutrients to build you up. It's making sure you're getting your calcium and your magnesium. It's making sure you find out about betaine HCl, which will break down your food and help you to digest it. So all of these things are a system. And when you start doing these things, then, and doing it in prayer, doing it in the name of the Most High, in the name of Jesus Christ, when you're doing that and eating this way, then you're going to be here as long as God wants you to be here. And
in other words, we should honor what we put in the gateway to the temple and they refer to the body as a temple.
Yes.
So the gateway to the temple, what goes in and out of the temple, is all we have control over, and that is our mouth. Our spoken word and what we put into our body is what we have control over. And if we hold it in high regard, what we put in our body and sanctify it instead of defiling it with garbage, processed food, when you said juice before, I'm thinking, let them know, not juice from the store. That is dead enzymes. It's waste unless you need it for a filler. That's okay. If you just need a smoothie and you're whatever, you want to throw some organic apple juice in there, but it's always good to juice your own, like Jack LaLanne. His wife threatened to divorce him if he pulled 92 boats across the channel for his 92nd birthday, so he stopped at 91. And he was a vegetarian juicer. I used to go to his health spa when I was very young.
Yeah, Jack LaLanne.
Yeah.
Yes, Jack LaLanne was a vegetarian and a juicer, and he developed the Jack LaLanne juicer. It's not the best, but it held larger fruit than some others.
Yeah. Well, the moral of the story is you should pay as much attention to what goes in your mouth as what comes out of it.
Exactly.
There you go. Do we have anybody else who has a question, a topic, or a suggestion? We've got time to answer your question. We don't diagnose, we don't prescribe, but we talk about natural remedies here and give you the full information, the scientific research reports. That's what we do here. So I'm looking for anyone who has a question.
I would like to let them know the website, and then if anybody's raising their hand, that's fine. Is that okay?
You're talking about the website herbalhealthreview.com?
That one, and the other one.
Betterhealthherbs.com?
No, mine. Oh, the other one.
Well, we don't give out, the only two websites we're going to give out is herbalhealthreview.com with all the information, and the manufacturer, the only manufacturer of the natural remedies that I get nothing from. Those are the only two.
I'm talking about for the bentonite clay, so they can read up on it.
I'm sure that Doc Truman can find more information on where bentonite clay is available. His phone number and email address are truman@herbalhealthreview.com, truman@herbalhealthreview.com, and the phone number is 503-362-5899, 503-362-5899. I'm sure if anyone's looking for either mag ozone or bentonite clay, that Doc Truman would be able to find a source for it. Isn't that right, Doc?
Absolutely. Any reports, any information, any topic, text me on 503-362-5899. Let me know you'd like a bentonite clay report or a report on anything. I'll make sure you get it. Thank you. My email address is truman@herbalhealthreview.com. And I'm looking for a topic or a suggestion. Is anybody?
I have one.
I'm ready.
Hey, Dr. Truman. My name is Artelia Hubbard. I emailed you today, and I on the group today. I just had a question. I have Sjogren's, and I've been taking Plaquenil for the last 15, 16 years, and it's no longer helping. I'm just totally inflamed. I can just feel it over my whole entire body, my inflammation. So I was looking in a essential oil book. I was looking at that, just trying to find something. But we went to Tabernacles this past weekend, and one of the girls was like, "Why don't you look at herbal?" She gave me your website, so I was just reviewing it and just trying to find something that, I know you don't diagnose anything, just trying to find something to help with the inflammation.
Let's take a look at Sjogren's syndrome, and we're we are not prescribing or diagnosing for your Sjogren's, because we can't do that. We don't do that. But we're going to look at the topic of Sjogren's and see what natural remedies could be comforting to you. Let's take a look at that, and hold on while I do that for you. I'm going to do some spontaneous, quick research and come up with what here it is. And according to this report, there are nine ways to self-manage when there's a Sojourn's syndrome. And first, let's talk about what it is. Sojourn's syndrome is one of the most prevalent autoimmune diseases in the United States. It's affecting an estimated 7 million people, with only 4 million of those being diagnosed. So we got 3 million people who have it that don't even know they have it. While it primarily affects the salivary glands and tear ducts, it can also affect other cells and tissues in the body. The vast majority of cases, the vast majority of the cases are women, with only 10% of cases involving men. Sojourn's syndrome can be very tough to diagnose, and many patients suffer for years with symptoms that include dry eyes, dry mouth, persistent fatigue, and chronic pain due to inflammation. So right away, I would be looking at going over to the betterhealthherb.com website, and I would be looking at things that would comfort a person that has Sojourn's and has inflammation. They want to know about an inflammation kit. Inflammation. Let's look at it. Inflammation. Oh, I got too many letters in there. Inflammation. And I hit the wrong key. There we go. Nope, still the wrong key. I can do this. Okay. Did I actually get it? I think so. An inflammation kit is number 4452. And so that's what I'm looking at that could be helpful. It's got herbs in it that include an inflammation herbal formulation of herbs. It's got an emu MSM salve that is very soothing to aches and pains and inflammation of tissue. And there's Vital Zim capsules that eat up scar tissue and reduce inflammation. So those are some things that are in that kit that could be comforting when there is a case of Sojourn's. But there's also something called Pain Be Gone. Let's look at one here. This is the strongest pain relieving formulation. So the inflammation kit, number 4452, would be a good thing to know about. Then there's a formula called Pain Be Gone that is formula number 1999. That is another formula that's going to be very valuable to people who are fighting Sojourn's. So let's get back over to Sojourn's. But I just wanted to just quickly get right to some things that could be comforting to a person with Sojourn's. Now, with this disease, the immune system attacks the moisture-producing glands, causing the hallmark symptoms of dry eyes and mouth. But it is essential to understand that potentially serious complications, including interstitial lung disease, cystic lung disease, and pulmonary hypertension, and amyloidosis, and lymphoma. All of these can occur when there's Sojourn's. And with most autoimmune disorders, An exact cause has yet to be determined. However, it is generally believed that genetics play a key role in its development. Unfortunately, there is no cure, but there are effective natural treatments and conventional treatments to help manage the discomfort the symptoms cause. While there is no cure, Sjogren's syndrome can go into remission, or symptoms may come and go. And some may experience debilitating symptoms while others have mild symptoms. This is a very personal disease of varying degrees with each individual. While generally not considered a fatal disease, it is a serious one, and it is crucial that patients be monitored for potential complications. In addition, this autoimmune disease often occurs with other autoimmune diseases, including rheumatoid arthritis, Hashimoto's thyroiditis, which are also lifelong diseases for which there is no cure. And successful treatment focuses on staving off complications while providing the body the nutrients, the rest, and exercise that it needs. Now, what is Sjogren's syndrome? Sjogren's syndrome is a lifelong systemic autoimmune disease that causes the white blood cells to mistakenly attack healthy cells and tissues. These white blood cells typically are focused on attacking germs to protect against infections. But with this condition, they focus first on destroying moisture-producing glands in the mouth and the eyes. As the disease progresses, it can attack other parts of the body, including soft tissue, joints, nerves, kidneys, lungs, thyroid, and liver. So all of these systems must be protected and helped, nourished, and kept as strong as possible. Now, about 50% of the time, Sjogren's syndrome occurs alone. This is referred to as primary Sjogren syndrome. The other 50% of the time, it happens alongside another autoimmune disease such as rheumatoid arthritis, Hashimoto's disease, scleroderma, or lupus, and is referred to as secondary Sjogren's syndrome. As it is considered a chronic inflammatory disorder, and it shares many of the same symptoms with other autoimmune disorders, it can be difficult to diagnose. This condition is not curable, but effective treatments to help minimize Sjogren's syndrome symptoms are available. Sjogren's can go into remission, and many people have productive and healthy lives. In fact, the vast majority of those diagnosed remain very healthy without serious complications. However, there are increased health risks associated with this condition. Special precautions and regular communication with a rheumatologist is recommended so that any complication is caught quickly. Any changes in glands, pain, breathing should be reported immediately, as it may be a result of problems developing in the lungs or the liver or the kidneys. And if you are pregnant, it is vital that you communicate your diagnosis with your OB/GYN doctor, as serious complications can occur. Okay, so now we have gotten into this pretty good. Let's cut to the chase. We have got very little time. Let's take a look at Some of the symptoms: dry eyes, eyes that feel gritty, itchy or burn, a dry or chalky feeling in the mouth, burning mouth syndrome, tooth decay and cavities, gum diseases, mouth sores, loss of taste, swollen salivary glands, dry cough and hoarseness, dry lips, difficulty in swallowing, heartburn or GERD, gas acid reflux disease, joint pain, swelling or stiffness, muscle pain, weakness, dry skin, skin rashes, vaginal dryness, prolonged or chronic fatigue, lung inflammation, symptoms associated with Raynaud's phenomenon, symptoms associated with Hashimoto's disease. So the causes and risk factors, while researchers have not yet identified a cause, it is believed that certain genetic markers put people at higher risk. But it seems that there must be some sort of a trigger for sojourns to develop. The trigger may be due to extreme stress or from a viral or bacterial infection. In essence, this condition occurs when the body produces extra antibodies in the blood that attack healthy tissues and cells. This leads to inflammation and dysfunction of key organs and glands in the body. The recognized risk factors include being female, being over 50, family members with an autoimmune disease, or Hashimoto's disease, lupus, scleroderma, rheumatoid arthritis, Raynaud's disease, and certain genetic markers. The dangers of Sojourn's syndrome include dental cavities due to dry mouth, dental cavities, oral thrush, vaginal yeast infection, vision changes and blurred vision, corneal damage due to dry eyes, light sensitivity, inflammation in the lung, kidney, and liver, vasculitis, and inflammation of the blood vessels, nerve sensitivity, tingling, burning in hands and feet, and numbness, lymph node swelling, lymphoma, peripheral neuropathy, interstitial lung disease, cystic lung disease, MALT lymphoma, loss of pregnancy, neonatal lupus syndrome, parathyroid tumors. So what do you do if you suspect Sojourn's? You ask your physician to test antibody levels. Be your best advocate. Keep a journal of symptoms and discuss them with your doctor. And treat to relieve symptoms. Request specialist care from ophthalmologists, rheumatologists, and otolaryngologists, and dentists, and stay informed. Researchers are working diligently to find effective treatments, and don't give up. It can take 3 or more years for a diagnosis. Don't lose hope. Sojourns can go into remission, and many people live a happy and healthy life. So there's lots of conventional treatments, ANA test, SSA, and SSB tests. But let's get to some things that we can use here. 9 ways to self-manage Sojourn syndrome includes the dry eyes. You'd want that eye system we just talked about earlier. Make sure you get that you're using the eye system to treat the eyes. Dry lips, dry mouth, and lack of saliva can cause dry and cracked lips. To relieve the discomfort, use a natural lip balm. So you can pick one up at your local health food store. And there might be oral thrush for an oral yeast infection. You want to use cinnamon oil. Researchers have shown that cinnamon oil shows great anti-candida activity making it one of the best ways to fight candida infections and oral thrush. But for best results, drink a couple of cups of tea with cinnamon oil, lemon, and raw honey each day while symptoms persist of oral thrush. And pour very warm, not boiling, water into a mug over a slice of lemon and let it sit there for 3 to 4 minutes. Stir, remove the lemon slice, and add a teaspoon of raw honey and 6 to 8 drops of cinnamon oil. And that's also very good against oral thrush. Dry skin and eyes and throat, use a humidifier to add much needed moisture to your home. This is, and if you've got any kind of a lung disorder, put some colloidal silver water in that humidifier. It will get rid of lung infections. So there's all kinds of things you can do here. I've got a complete report of things that you should be eating, like a kale Caesar salad with salmon in it, and so forth. There's recipes. There's things you can do for dental health, inflammation. Make sure, again, you're taking a lot of vitamin C, at least 2,000 milligrams of vitamin C 3 times a day or more. And also make sure you're looking at the cancer and neuropathy protection. So these are some of the things. There is a complete report. Email me, Truman@herbalhealthreview.com. Call me, 503-362-5899. The website that we keep talking about that has all these recipes, which I get nothing from, is betterhealthherbs.com. And we have come to the top of the hour, and I wish we had more time because we got much more that we would love to do. But let's get over here to our Bible and get a closing prayer, and then let us all open the microphones and praise the Most High together after the closing prayer. And here we are. Moreover, when ye fast, according to Matthew 6:16, teaching on fasting. Moreover, when ye fast, be not as the hypocrites of a sad countenance, for they disfigure their faces, that they may appear unto men to fast. Verily, I say unto you, they have their reward. But thou, when thou fastest, anoint thine head and wash thy face, that thou appear not unto men to fast, but unto thy Father which is in secret, and thy Father which seeth in secret shall reward thee openly. In Jesus Christ's name, Yeshua, all praises to the Most High. Bless you, bless your families. Let's all praise the Most High together.
All praises to the Most High.
To the Most High.
Thank you, Dr. Lewis. Thank you so much. Appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank you for listening. And tell a friend and join us again next week. For now, thank you from the bottom of my heart, and I'll see you again next week. Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Edward. Thank you, Angela and Victoria and Lisa and Rich. Thank you all. In Jesus Christ's name, all praises to the Most High. So be it.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us for this episode of Discoveries in Health Discussions on Global Voice Network and herbalhealthreview.com. So, thank you for joining us. We'll catch you right back here on Thursday, next Thursday, at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. Thanks, Dr. Truman. As usual, an excellent show.
Thank you, everybody.
This program is presented for information purposes only. The statements made herein have not been evaluated by any agency and should not be considered professional, legal, or medical advice. Viewers are directed to consult their own professional sources before acting on any information presented here.